Hi Kevin. So I can't go for a walk because it's pouring down with rain. So here I am talking to you about another scene, or is it two scenes today? Two
scenes today.
Two scenes on the Bayeux Tapestry that you're calling the Norman preliminaries to the battle.
Yeah.
So
this is the mustering of the Normans on Telham Hill prior to the battle.
Okay, so that's the accepted narrative, and it's your opinion as well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I cannot poke any holes into this one.
Oh, good. But you're going to go through why.
I'm going to go through why I think they're correct,
Okay.
And look at just look at the evidence really.
So where did the Normans land? Is that another video? You're going to talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
They landed out of Pevensey and out at Little Standard Hill in Ninfield.
Right. Okay.
They then moved to Hastings.
Why did they go to Hastings to meet Harold?
Don't know. What?
Had they got a message?
It was a better location for them. I don't know.
Okay, but had they got a message that that's where Harold was hanging out, or?
No,
I don't know.
No, I don't know why they moved to Hastings, but
okay. So it could have been the Battle of Rye or the Battle of Pevensey if they hadn't moved.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right, this is scene 48, and here we have William Squire coming with his horse to collect William in order to go up with all of his cronies.
Wait a minute, so the guy with the horse is who?
Is William Squire.
His squire? His
squire, yes. His keeper of the horse.
So like his groom?
Yeah, but they call him squires.
Okay, so he looked after William's horse. So William had just one horse? Didn't have a spare?
We had several during the battle.
Right, okay. And this
guy...
this
first one.
This guy to the left of him with the... Is that the royal standard he's holding, or whatever?
I don't know what it is. It's a flag.
But that's William?
That's William.
Okay.
And the collection of buildings there...
To the left of him?
To the left of him is either the Hastings Manor or the manor out at Guestling, which is owned by Vicomte Abbey.
Which is to the east of Hastings, yes.
Notice the cupola on top of on that little tower.
Yes.
That is actually a wooden cupola, and it's very strange because there's several towers that dotted throughout the tapestry with these wooden cupolas on.
Mm-hmm.
And what the accepted wisdom is that these represent temporary towers built by the Normans when they came over.
As lookout towers?
Not lookout towers, but just towers.
Why?
Fortified places.
Why?
But if you look underneath the cupola, and on top of the triangle adjacent to it, right here, you'll see those fish scales.
Oh, right, the fish scale tiles,
which is still common in Norway.
Yeah. But why is that building on the left? To me, it looks like it's on legs. Or is that just my perception of it?
That's
your
perception.
Okay. And the object just behind William, I couldn't make out what it was, but I'm now perceiving it as some sort of fortified door or reinforced
it's a door.
Okay.
Everything, they didn't have perspective in those days, so they just drew things willy-nilly.
Is that indicating that William is stood outside, or...?
Well, yeah, he's come outside to get on his horse.
Okay.
To meet the English.
Yep. Fair enough.
And as you see with his knights here, these knights are stationary.
So this is the next...
No, this is the same scene.
Okay.
The next cameo, if you like. I would like to call it a cameo.
So these guys on the horses are the French?
Are the French. Well, Normans.
Normans.
I like to differentiate between the French and the Normans at this time.
Okay, so these are Normans on their horses that they brought over on these boats.
Yes.
They've all survived the journey. They've not been too seasick.
Drowned.
And these are all guys dressed in armour with
Pennants with
shields?
and stores and spears and goodness knows what else.
Okay.
But notice the fact that the one on the extreme left is stationary, yet the one on the left, on the right here,
like galloping.
they're galloping along at a fair rate of knots. And notice the ground also; it's little bumpy, just broken ground. Right. I think that's important for later on.
Okay.
Now this is scene 49, which is the next scene, of course.
Okay.
And I think everybody reckons that this is William here asking something called Vital what's going on, and Vital's pointing at the fact that the English are just over the way,
Right.
and that this hill here is actually Telham Hill.
So that's just to the southeast of Battle.
Yeah,
As you go out.
that's the hill that you can see from Battle Abbey.
Right. Okay.
Right. Now, there is a problem. When I first looked at that, those two scenes, and I saw that it's flat ground followed by one rise to the top of Telham Hill, and everybody says, "Oh yeah, that's Hastings, and that's the top of Telham Hill." But if you do a height check from Hastings to the top of Telham Hill, which is just a couple of 100 metres behind where they mustered from, you get this sort of graph. Now, it's very confusing, but this point here represents the sea level at the castle.
Hastings Castle.
Hastings Castle, which is where everybody reckons he landed in Hastings.
Okay.
Yeah? Now, that's 9.8 kilometres from the top of Telham Hill.
Right.
And what you've got is a fairly steep rise up to the top. I think this is Priory Road.
Oh, on the West Hill.
On the West Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the junction between the Grey Line, which is
the next one along.
which was the road up from the railway viaduct at the bottom of Alexandra Park.
At the junction of Queen's Road and St Helens Road.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
That meets up.
Park Gates. It's called, yes. Park Gates. Yes.
That meets Priory Road coming off the top. At the top there. It's where there's a school. There used to be a school up there, isn't there?
On the way up there, it used to be Mount Pleasant Schools. Yes.
Right. And the blue line represents the hill coming out of the old town.
Right, so going up what's now called Old London Road.
Yeah.
Which is a more gentle slope. Okay.
And the point where that meets the Grey Line, and that would be the old. There used to be a pub there. I was coaching in there. Sussex Arms.
Sussex Arms, yes.
And then that's a pharmacy now, isn't it?
I don't know what's there now. There is a pharmacy on that corner, I think. But what would William have been taking up there? Would he have been taking everything?
Everything.
So all his troops, all his ammunition,
certainly all the ground troops, the arrows,
so
hawbucks, and
he would have had carts and things to take things up.
You would imagine so.
Okay.
But the grey. So if you come along here to the junction of this yellow line and the blue line,
yeah,
that's the cemetery up on the ridge.
Right.
Right. So that is Elphinstone Road.
Elphinstone.
And those 2 points where they come down to meet the sea level, that point there, and that the end of the grey line,
the bottom of the yellow line, Kevin. Yes.
The bottom of the yellow line and the bottom of the grey line are actually co-located.
Okay, but not on your diagram.
But not on my diagram because they follow different routes. Yeah. I'm trying to show the distance that they have to cover.
Okay.
Now this nice blue line here, the Royal Blue Line.
Don't tell me that's Battle Road. No?
Yeah, that's Batter Road.
Oh.
And the bottom is down where the Priory used to be.
Oh, which is now where ESK is?
Yeah.
That used
Cornwallis Gardens.
That used to be Sainsbury's at one time and then became ESK.
Yeah, and there's the car park still called Priory Car Park, isn't it?
But would William have been allowed into all these places? I mean, how... You're talking about monasteries and manors and things. How loyal to Harold would they have been? And when they realised it was William from Normandy, would they have gone, oh, you're not coming in here?
Well, I'll show you that. I'll show you that next.
Okay, I'm jumping the gun. Okay.
Number 2 will actually show you what went on.
So you think the most likely... I mean, if I had a load of equipment and men and goodness knows what, I would go for that. Is it dark blue or marine blue?
Well, one's
line
it's a royal blue,
Road.
isn't it?
Royal blue. Okay.
Yeah, this is Batter Road, and then that goes.
That's the one I'd go for because I don't want anything steep. But then I don't know about going downhill to then go uphill.
Well, that's only the from the junction with what's that? What's the road up by Asda?
Oh, at Asda, at Silver Hill, at the
Silver
junction
Hill.
there. Okay.
Yeah, that's the junction.
Oh, does
Silver
it drop
Hill.
down there? Oh, yes,
it just drops down a little bit, actually.
Well, it does now, yes. Yeah.
And then it goes up, and then that's the steepest part of the... about out at the further on you go.
Up Battle Road.
And then this is the roundabout with the A2100.
Yeah.
Yeah? And then the main
at the end of the ridge, yes.
Yeah. But this is what I thought, that it all makes sense for this Royal Blue Line to be the line that they took.
But would William have known what his options were, or would he have
He would have, yes.
He sent scouts to go to find us a route.
He was over in 51 himself.
It was 15 years earlier, okay. Yeah.
And there was quite a bit of kind of cross-channel trade as well.
Okay.
So people would know.
He would know literally
roughly
the lie of the land.
Yes.
Okay.
But recently, during my study of the other reports, I came across Kathleen Tyson and her translation of the Carmen.
Mm.
Now, she has put forward the fact that, I don't know for what reason, but Viscount had an abbey out at Guestlin.
Why?
Due to Emma of Normandy.
Oh, right.
And a promise made by Ethelred that she insisted that Canute honoured.
Okay.
So there was this, and I've actually done a height check of a possible route, and of course there's only the difference between the 19 and 52 metres.
So
that's broken ground, and when you consider the sea level, the top of the spring tide would be at 19 metres or thereabouts. It meant that...
So when you say sea level, Kevin, you're talking about sea level in 1066?
Sea level in 1066.
Not sea level now, okay, because that's 20 metres higher, lower? I can never remember.
It's 20 minutes lower, but
Okay.
if you look at the castle, the Hastings Castle, it goes all the way down to 19 metres.
Okay.
You look at the old church in in the old town, St Clement's.
I can never remember. One St Clement's.
It's the what's the anyway, and then there's Crowhurst. Crowhurst is also built at 19 metres.
Okay. So that's where sea level was.
So that's where sea level was roughly. I wouldn't say it was precisely.
Okay, so the sea has receded. It's gone
Yeah,
down.
all the land's gone up, one of the two.
In those 1,000 years, okay. But would William have had lands and manors and things round Hastings?
No. No.
His family wouldn't have had any?
No.
Okay.
No, but Harold did.
Right.
Harold had several manors. I think Hollington was owned by his father. He definitely owned Watlington.
I'm just trying to think what would have happened when this Norman guy came over with all his ships and all his troops and all his horses. What the reaction would have been locally to this invasion of foreigners.
Can we keep that for a future?
Oh right, that's another subject as well, is it? Okay, but
for a future thing.
I can't imagine that the locals would have been helpful.
They weren't helpful, and there was a silver hoard found in Saddlescombe from the Hastings Mint, which people think was somebody trying to hide the silver from William's troops.
Normans. Oh right.
It was found in the 1800s.
Yeah, I seem to remember something about it. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm quite willing to accept Kathleen Tyson's idea, because it does offer a closer match to.
But does anybody else accept that, or is that in dispute?
No. Well, that's of course in dispute.
Okay.
So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. If you can, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much.
It seems to have stopped raining, so I can go for my walk. Thank you, Kevin.